I am Anshul Ivanika, and you could call me Anshul. And this year, I have been selected as the Google Summer of Code with a project implementation of visual regression testing using Loki, and which is mentored by Douglas Fabris and Gazo. To understand why do we even need this project, we could also say that why we even need the visual regression test in the first place. Why can't we use the unit testing tools like just let me show you an example that why we even need a visual test. So in a title component, I will make a small change where I will make a background color to dark and check whether the just test cases passes or fail. So, so as you can see that while running the just just case, it passes actually. It because it tests actually the functionality of the component rather than changing the visual difference of the component. So there is also a real life example where we could see that why the visual tests are important. So earlier, Fuselage used to run on the Storybook version 8, but after the upgrade to Storybook 9, there were some visual changes which was unnoticed on the CI. The PR that brings those changes got ultimately merged, and the visual tests were undetected. So this is the open issue where these components have visual changes from upgrading to Storybook version 8 to 9. These components are right now invisible, like surface color, status color, stroke, and font, and many more. So, to run visual test, we are actually using Loki, which will take the snapshot of the current component and it will if there is any change or difference, it will create a difference image in a difference folder and it will log that this particular component is actually differs from the reference. And it also uses different engines like pixel match or maybe graphics magic. So let me run a visual test for this. So when I hit this command, it will run the visual test for for the all the components that are currently present in the fuselage. However, we made a small change on a tile. It will run full test for this particular component and it will take almost 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes to complete the visual test locally. But on the CI, it takes almost 28 minutes to run the whole visual test because uh, the storybook, the storybook test, the storybook tests are actually running uh, one by one rather than in the local version it is running four times parallel. So I would like to cancel this and there is another solution. You could either pass story filter and the component that is actually changed, it will actually run the visual test for this particular component. But what about those components that uses this component within the same package? Or there are also another components that actually uses this particular component from the another packages such as toastbar, onboarding UI, or layout. You could see that these images actually show that screenshot differs from the reference, such as this particular image. Okay. This is the difference that is created, and this image is actually the On the right side, this is the image which is current or the reference, and this on the left side is the difference. What about the current? I could show you the current. This is the current image that run right now. So I changed the color to black, and it is right now white. So this changes is done. So there is another feature of this project, like my me and my mentor discussed that what we should test only those components that are affected by the change. So we could just run yarn fuselage snap at the root of the repository, and then it will build me a required storybook, like such as fuselage, maybe Toastbar or onboarding UI. Then it will run me the fuselage snap for a required packages that are affected by the changes. So these are the components that are actually affected by the change with the tiles component. And at the same time, there are also CI features where I triggered the fuselage snap. I changed the button components and on the CI, it will run me the visual test for the rest of the packages. That is onboarding UI, where these are the affected components that are changed with the change in the button component. But when I run the full test, it takes almost 28 minutes. But running on the fuselage snap, it takes almost 12 minutes, which is nearly half. And on the local, these are the tests that are running. How does the community benefit from this? It actually improves the user experience by ensuring that the UI remain consistent across all different screens or reduces the chances of oops, my CSS broke something after merging, and contributors or developer might get the immediate visual feedbacks. And lastly, thank you. That's it. Thank you, Rocket Chat and the community for giving me such opportunity to be a part of this journey.